Hi, today I will be showing you how to make a bracelet like this, known as a snake bracelet. For this project, you will need elastic string, letter beads, and beads of your choice to make your desired pattern. I used clay beads for the black and red stripes, and smaller glass beads for the snake part. I also used larger pony beads at the turns of the snake, but you can use smaller string if you only want the glass beads. I'll post a list of the items I used in the description. Now, let's get started. First, cut 2 pieces of string into equal lengths. Mine were about 10 inches long, but make sure to cut yours a couple inches longer than the circumference of your wrist so that the bracelet is the right size for you. You want it to be long enough so that you have room to tie the bracelet after you've lost some space to the beads. Once you have your strings cut, tie them into a knot. This will keep the beads from falling off as we make the bracelet. Make sure to pull that knot tight so that it doesn't come loose while you're working on your bracelet. Next, add the beads for the straight part of the bracelet. On my bracelet, this part is made up with my clay beads. To do this, slide the beads over both strings. This is easier to do if you have thinner string or wider holes in your beads. You can either put both strings through the beads at once, or you can thread one string through and then thread the second string through. Do whichever you find easiest. This is a pretty repetitive process once you get it down, so I will speed up the video for this portion. Once you've completed that portion, you can start making the snake. Now, instead of threading both strings through each bead, separate the 2 strings. You will put your snake beads or glass beads on one string, and then you will put your first letter bead on the other string. Then you will cross the strings and add a bead with both strings threaded through the bead. Then you separate the strings again and add the snake beads to the bottom thread this time and your letter bead to the top thread. Cross the string and repeat the process. Now I will show you what we just talked through. So start by placing your snake beads on the one string. You may need to play around with the number of beads that makes sense to properly wrap around the letter bead. I ended up using 5 of these glass beads per letter. Then add your first letter bead onto the opposite string. Once you are happy with the length of your first section of your snake to wrap around that first letter bead, take your pony bead, or any glass or other bead that you might be using for the turn of the snake, and you want to put both strings through it. Once both strings are pulled through, then you want to put the string that was originally on the bottom, pull that up to the top, and the string that was originally on the top with those glass beads, pull that to the bottom. Then you can continue putting your second letter bead on and your second set of the snake beads on. Make sure to use the same number of the snake beads at each letter bead so that the snake is a consistent size throughout. Then take another bead and thread both strings through this bead and pull it up against the other beads. And then again cross the strings so that the string that was previously on the bottom is now on the top, and the string that was previously on the top is now on the bottom. And just repeat the process that we just completed until you have your words completely spelled out and you have the snake wrapping above and below each of the letters. Once you have spelled out your entire word and also completed the snake, which should happen at the same time, then you just go back to what we did at the beginning of this video of using beads that are threaded with both strings at the same time until you reach the end of your bracelet. Try to make sure that the beginning portion of the bracelet that's made this way is about equal in length to this end portion of the bracelet, so that when you have it on your wrist, the tie is centered on the bottom of your wrist. Once you reach the end of the bracelet, then you just want to tie it off using both strings in one knot. and then take both ends, the start and the end, and tie that into another knot. Make sure to knot it a couple of times. I usually will do 2 or 3 knots to make sure that the beads don't fly off when I'm wearing the bracelet. This bracelet took me about an hour to make, but I was also filming this video, so you can probably make it quicker than that. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. If you did like this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and let me know in the comments if there's any other videos you'd like to see.